Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a massive paradigm shift in how you go about acquiring an AI workstation, building it yourself versus buying pre-built. Look, if you're planning to run serious local inference, meaning actually running AI models directly on your own hardware, or if you're training models at home or in the office, this is absolutely the most critical crossroads you're going to face before you ever touch a single component.
For decades, building your own PC was the undisputed heavyweight champ of cost savings. The old conventional wisdom was super simple. If you wanted to save money, you build. If you wanted to save time, you buy. But wow, the current AI boom has totally shattered that old rule. Here in 2026, we are living in a completely new reality where bulk buying vendors can actually beat DIY prices. And it's all because of intense, industry-wide component shortages.
And here is that plot twist in hard numbers. Because of these crazy shortages, a basic DIY build that used to easily come in under $1,000, that now pushes $1,250. And listen, that is before you even buy the operating system. The math has fundamentally changed, which means your whole approach to buying an AI workstation has to change right along with it. So here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll hit the 2026 plot twist, then pulling the 5 levers, when to buy pre-built, when to build it yourself, our head-to-head comparison, and finally, how to decide today. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, the 2026 plot twist. Let's unpack exactly why the market flipped completely on its head this year.
Okay, so the real culprit here is the domino effect of the global AI data center buildout. This intense, insatiable demand caused massive price spikes in the exact components you need for a DIY rig. We're talking DDR5 RAM, high-end GPUs and SSDs. Even older DDR4 RAM got dragged up in price. But here's the thing. Large manufacturers bought these components in bulk way before the massive price spikes hit. Because of that foresight, and obviously their scale, they can now offer systems that actually beat DIY pricing. You literally can no longer assume that building it yourself is the bargain path.
Which brings us to Section 2, pulling the 5 levers, and the whole thermal engineering challenge.
Before we even talk about purchasing, we have to establish why AI workstations are incredibly unique machines. They are not standard gaming PCs. An AI workstation is what we call a sustained load furnace. When you're training a model or running complex local inference, you're putting your hardware under maximum blistering stress for hours, sometimes even days at a time. Managing that intense, unyielding heat without your office sounding like a literal jet engine, that is the absolute biggest challenge of the entire process.
So to cool that furnace down and keep things quiet, there are 5 critical levers someone has to pull. You have to undervolt the GPU, which just means restricting its power so it runs cooler. You have to match the cooler perfectly to the thermal output, fix the case airflow, meticulously tune the fan curves to balance noise and heat, and finally, place the machine well in your physical environment. Ultimately, your core purchasing decision boils down to this one question. Do you pull these 5 levers yourself, or do you pay a vendor to do it for you?
Let's look at that first path. Section 3, when to buy pre-built and de-risking your time and thermals. Buying a pre-built is, hands down, the absolute best move for professionals whose time is highly valuable. Think about it. A pre-built arrives completely plug-and-play. The OS is installed, and that crucial AI software stack, frameworks like CUDA, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Docker, it's all already pre-configured. That gets you from unboxing the machine to actually running AI in minutes, with absolutely zero part sourcing or assembly headaches. It's also the much safer bet if you're building a complex multi-GPU rig where power delivery and thermal throttling become major risks. And again, always check the math, because in 2026, the bulk buying vendor might just offer the better price anyway. The really crucial point to understand is that high-end workstation vendors, companies like Bison, Puget Systems, or Lambda, they don't just assemble parts like your standard corner computer shop. They validate the thermals. They perform intensive 24 to 48 hours of burn-in testing to guarantee your rig won't melt down or throttle during a critical training run. They do all that heavy thermal engineering so you don't have to, and they back the whole thing up with comprehensive warranties. You are quite literally paying to de-risk your hardware.
Oh, and actually, quick side note while we're on the topic of pre-builts, do not forget the Mac Studio. Depending on your specific AI workload, it acts as the ultimate silent pre-built alternative. It's incredibly capable for local large language models, and the best part? There are absolutely 0 thermal levers you need to pull. None. It just works quietly, right out of the box.
But what if you're a tinkerer? Let's move to Section 4, when to build it yourself and taking exact control of your hardware.
building it yourself still stretches a tight budget the absolute furthest, especially for students or hobbyists whose time is relatively cheap. It offers a genuine learning experience, right? It gives you exact control to choose every single component, but most importantly, it gives you total freedom to swap out GPUs, add storage, and upgrade your machine years down the line without needing a vendor's blessing or worrying about voiding a system-wide warranty.
And honestly, this is a tremendously underrated benefit. When you have pulled those 5 thermal levers yourself, you completely transform your rig. It stops being this mysterious black box that just works until it suddenly doesn't, and it becomes a completely transparent machine. You know exactly how it behaves thermally, you know its limits, and you know exactly how to fix it when temperatures start creeping up 2 years from now. It really becomes an evolutionary machine that grows right alongside your skills.
Now that we've explored both paths, let's put them directly head-to-head. Section 5. The head-to-head comparison.
When we compare these exact trade-offs, cost, time, warranty, control, the big picture becomes super clear. Just think about the time to running difference. We're talking about hours or even days of sourcing parts and wrangling motherboard BIOS settings on the DIY side compared to literally minutes on the pre-built side. And the warranty? Coordinating a dozen individual part returns yourself versus having one massive whole system support net to catch you? Simply put, building is for controllers and hobbyists, buying is for teams, working professionals, and really anyone running high-stakes multi-GPU setups.
Let's wrap this up with something actionable. Section 6. How to decide today with a 4-step decision matrix.
To make your decision right now, just follow these 4 steps. First, absolutely do not assume DIY is cheaper anymore. Get a real quote for a pre-built and compare it to a live Amazon parts list for your exact configuration today. Second, weigh the monetary value of your time honestly. If your time is expensive, just pay the markup. Third, decide if you actually want to do that thermal engineering work. And fourth, evaluate your workload risk. If you are running mission-critical multi-GPU workloads, a vendor's burn-in testing is a massive, massive safety net.
I want to leave you with this one final, provocative thought to chew on as you plan out your workstation. Ultimately, who will be your thermal engineer? Are you willing to dive in, learn the hardware, and pull those levers yourself to master your machine? Or is your time simply too valuable, meaning you are way better off just buying the results? Take a hard look at your budget, assess your timeline, and make the choice that empowers your AI journey.